Hello, I'd like to tell you about the features and benefits of using the new addition to NoteCaddy, the automatic text notes. Number 1. NoteCaddy Text.Notes. The NoteCaddy program is part of Hold'em Manager 2, and it allows the creation of the so-called definitions to infer additional statistics on appointments that are not encompassed by standard stats. I have a large amount of experience in creating definitions for NoteCaddy that show the ways in which opponents play in general and also against me. Before creating NoteCaddy Text.Notes, many stats were made in NoteCaddy, around 15,000. I have experimented with different types of data inference on opponents, and some of the stats remain while others are not used anymore because it was too difficult to interpret the output information. Some stats showed percentages of a particular action. Others showed what does the opponent raise with, what does he 3-bet with, what does he call with, etc. There was quite a lot of this, and at one point you begin to understand that the opponent plays you completely differently to what his statistics show. Now, for example, an opponent is sitting at the table, and you see the cards in his hand that should not be there at all. There are many such examples when what the statistics show in the pop-ups differ from reality. It was clear that this should be somehow taken into consideration. I, like probably many others, did not often make notes on opponents, so a task was set to simplify this part of playing poker, i.e. creating notes. Now, in the end, after many months of development, inspections and testing, that which really helps while playing opponents was created, and now you can use it as well. It is the automatic creation of notes on opponents' NoteCaddy Text.Notes that allows the creation of notes on players, as if you were writing them down yourself. Number 2. What are notes, and why use them? You have to take down notes on your opponents when during the game you notice that they played a non-standard game. For instance, he called you with what he usually 3-bets with, or there were actions during the hand that need to be remembered, such as betting amounts. What did he call? What did he 3-bet with? What did he do post-flop, or, for instance, when he acted unnecessarily strangely? The simplest example is when you wrote down that he called in position with aces, or bet 2 barrels with a flush draw and did not bluff the river, and more, that he check-raised on the flop and checked the turn with a bluff. This is information that characterizes the player and his strategy in general, and against you personally. Poker is a game with limited information, which is why the more you know about the opponent, the easier it is to play against him, and the easier it is to win. As a result, it is important to not only use the additional enhanced statistics, but also to take down notes, i.e. create notes on players. Some say, I play on 4 tables and I write down everything by myself, or I don't need something else. I can live without it. Well, NoteCaddy Text.Notes allows you to play on more tables, because now this information on opponents will be written down automatically, and consequently, you can spare more time on the actual game. If you have taken down notes on opponents before, maybe it was because you did not know what is the best way to go about it, or because you played on too many tables, or you could not use your notes because you took them down too rarely. Now, there is a possibility to know your opponents better, as well as to know how they play against you. Having this information will give you an edge against them, as you will be able to take better decisions. Number 3. Possibilities of NoteCaddy Text.Notes. As discussed previously, notes are automatically taken down for hands in which you participate, saved in vsHERO, i.e. only when opponents play with you and not with each other. Now, what is most important is that everything is done in English or in another language that is comfortable for you, for instance, French, Spanish, or Russian. Saving the history of the game. Notes are created in a way as if you had written them yourself, i.e., who opened up where and what did he call with, what are the actions post-flop, and how did the strength of his hand change. All the information on the hand is taken down so that the next time you play this opponent, you can read the notes, easily extract the necessary information, and use it to take the best decisions. Less difficult opponents. Additional possibilities to study the opponents who create the most difficulties also exist. Now, all the history of playing with them will be saved in a convenient text format, and while studying the opponent, identifying leaks is easier for later exploitation. The notes contain data on which bet sizes your opponents used against you, which will allow you to read their hands easier and, as a result, win more pots. Does he bet a lot with bluffs or strong hands? Now everything will be written in the notes, and you will be able to exploit this knowledge against the opponent. Another important aspect of poker is adjusting or correcting. Not only do you adjust to playing your opponents, but so do they. And it is important to take notice of this. You have statistics on the opponent, but so does he. However, with regular games, standard strategy is corrected to one that is more optional and profitable. It is very important to understand when does your opponent adjust to you and when does he start to use your leaks in the game. Now for this, you need NoteCaddy Text.Notes so that you're able to see the changes in the strategy while playing you. Number 4, using NoteCaddy Text.Notes. Now I've already told you that the notes are saved in a format comfortable for reading and in English, as well as the advantages you gain when you see how the opponents play against you. Now I would like to point out that using the functions of the automatic taking down of notes is really simple. You only need to import the files into NoteCaddy, and everything will work without having to use additional complicated settings or reading manuals. Using during the game. In order to look at the notes, you only have to hover the mouse cursor over the note icon in your HUD, and the window with the notes that were created while you were playing will appear. Or you can use the second method that allows for a more detailed study of the opponent. Now for this, you have to click on the notes icon in your HUD, and a separate window will open. It contains groups of bookmarks that were created specifically to simplify opponent analysis. All the notes there are distributed among pre- and post-flop actions. The first bookmark, Main, contains all notes on the opponent, followed by the caller in position and caller out of position bookmarks. The HUD bookmark contains opponent's pre-flop actions. What did he call you with? 3-bet with, or called your 3-bet with? There are also pre-flop razor in position and out of position bookmarks. The same goes for 3-bet pots. Now this allows for a simpler creation and understanding of the opponent's profile and for choosing a more optimal game strategy against him. Now, as you can see, everything is made in order to conveniently use the information on opponents. And if you have any questions, then I'll be glad to answer on Skype, or you can write me an email. Number 5, optimization of NoteCaddy and HUD. I'd also like to share my experience in working with text notes. Notes are created manually or automatically. Now, they appear when you point your cursor over the icon in your HUD. However, I have noticed that many users employ the default NoteCaddy stats, or stats from other packs and definition collections that appear in the Notes window. Sometimes there are so many of them that they interfere with the game, or they offer a small amount of useful information. That is then difficult to use. Now, in the end, your HUD looks kind of like this. As a result, instead of having only the necessary information, important notes on opponents get mixed up with stats that are rarely used. If your experience is similar to the examples, and there is much you do not use, then contact me and I'll send you short instructions on how to turn this off in one click and restore order in your HUD. Number 6, game results with NoteCaddy Text.Notes. Any professional coach or professional poker player will tell you how important it is to know what kind of an opponent is sitting next to you and how does he play against you. Now, the possibility to create notes is available. They are written down automatically, so even if you play on many tables, you can utilize all the existing advantages to better understand and exploit your opponents. The ease of use and simplicity of reading the notes allows you to play on a new level, wield information to make correct decisions, and leave your opponents far behind you. If you have any questions, please contact me using your preferred method, Skype or email, and I will gladly help you improve your game. Thank you for your attention and good luck at the tables.